In this presentation, you will learn about reception theory or transmission through reception model. Mass communication relates to various aspects of our personal and cultural lives or social systems. Theories of mass communication attempt explanations and predictions of social phenomena and explore the way in which we interact with mass communication, its role in our lives, and the effects it has on us. Messages through the media are constantly encoded and decoded. The producer encodes messages and values into their media, which are then decoded by the audience. However, different audience members will decode the media in different ways and possibly not in the way the producer originally intended. In this presentation, we will understand the transmission of messages through the reception model. Reception theory. Stuart Hall created the reception theory in 1973, which is also known as the audience theory or reader's reception theory. It is based on the idea that, regardless of the content presented, the audience will watch and understand it based on their own life experiences. This implies that individuals utilize their inherent principles and beliefs learned from their environment to interpret the content offered to them. Each person may perceive the same content in a different way. As a result, the substance is the same. The emotions, allusions, and links that each individual access within themselves are influenced by their social surroundings. The communication process. Within any communication, we observe that the source or sender of the message encodes their thoughts and sends it to the intended receiver. The receiver decodes the message to understand it. Encode or encoding is when thoughts and feelings are translated into a medium like writing, speaking, art, music, signs, and gestures to allow the opposite person to understand something as abstract as a thought in more concrete ways. The person encoding the message has to take into consideration if the receiver will fully grasp their message through the medium they choose. Writing is the most concrete as it is the only medium that reduces possibility of confusion or misunderstanding. Decode or decoding is when the person who receives the message has to understand the content and decode the meaning of signs and symbols. For example, alphabets are symbols assigned to a sound. Here, decoding will depend upon the medium through which the message has been sent. Messages sent through verbal or nonverbal cues may be differently decoded by the receiver compared to the intention of the sender. Such distortion can occur when there is a barrier of age, gender, religion, race, ethnicity, political views, class, culture, mood, and emotional state, etc., of the individual receiving the message. The communication that takes place between the sender and the receiver can be divided into two models. Symmetric model refers to the equal exchange of information between sender and receiver. It needs active participation on both ends. For example, a conversation between two people. Asymmetric model refers to communication where there is unequal exchange of information. As the sender sends information, the receiver receives the information, but the sender does not expect the receiver to provide any feedback and complete the communication cycle. Here the sender is active while the receiver is passive in the interaction. For example, newspapers publish content constantly while the readers consume the content. They are rarely required to provide compulsory feedback. With so many variabilities, there can be a wide range of interpretation of the message. So media houses and other platforms use tools such as press releases, advertisements, fan letters and message boards, reviews, etc., to better understand the social context of their audiences, which can be divided into three types. Dominant reader. The message sent by the content is clearly visible and accepted by this type of audience, requiring no further explanation. For example, the child is asked to study by the parent. It is understood and implemented without needing any additional information. Or, for example, the threatening appearance of an evil character portrayed in fictional content. Negotiated reader. Here, the audience is aware that the actions being performed in the content are morally questionable, but accept it anyway because they believe that there is a reason behind it. The negotiated audience negotiate or compromise their personal convictions with an understanding that there is a greater good in the act which would otherwise be considered taboo. For example, the protagonist in movies or video games going after the villain's life. Oppositional reader. The audience has zero tolerance for what has been presented because it goes diametrically opposite to their belief system. The reasons could vary for the content being morally wrong, emotionally disturbing, unnecessary adult content, violence, hurting religious sentiments, political outlook, etc. For example, religious content used for comedy is generally not tolerated. Hence, through the reception theory, it is apparent that the producer of the content can take into account these varied factors but can never certainly know the outcome of the reactions, as the reactions will keep changing with time and the social context. Thank you for watching the presentation. Do like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments about this presentation or any other topics you would like to learn more about.